Do the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator have friendly competition in these spring games?
I would say absolutely we do. And I think every day is a friendly competition, and between players, offense and defense, and between the coordinators. And I think it's an opportunity, like the competition piece of it keeps it lively. And, we're now, we can talk and say, okay, we hit you with this, just schematically. We're struggling with this, what you're doing, and vice versa. There was actually a pressure early on in spring where we completely jacked it up, and they thought it was the best thing, best thing in the world. So, the competitive aspect of it with players, coaches, I think it's a good, healthy thing.
How's Hoylett coming around on the ground?
Oh, Donnie, he is absolutely going to be explosive as a defensive end, and really, if I were to take it back, I would have last year during the season just went ahead and said, hey, let's move you there, because we used him in third down situations quite a bit, and he was very successful. It was just the transition during the season. He wouldn't have got the run piece of it. He could rush the passer, but it's seeing things and how quickly they take place up front. But he's done fantastic. He's getting more and more comfortable, and I'll say that Chris Ellis, our defensive ends coach, is doing a fantastic job with him. So,
how much would you like to see him weigh come August?
245 pounds. And he's putting on weight. And that's really the thing that has been a struggle, which is why I didn't want to initially move him to defensive end. It was like, can you put the weight on? But I think he has been really committed to that. I've seen him in the dining hall numerous times, and his plates are full with the right things. So I'm looking for a big year from him this season.
Thank you.
You joked about it before we came on, but how is the defense looking without some really strong pieces?
I tell you what, and everybody talks about, obviously Tristan, 5-time All-American, all the accolades, and he's a huge piece of it. But Aaron Banks, Aiden Murray, Marlon Lewis, those guys were with me for a very long time. So I think it's been really good this spring, because I've shown a lot of the players from the past, how they practice, how they conducted themselves, from Kobe Turner, Tyler Dressler. I mean, it's a long list of guys. And I want, this is the first season that I don't have anybody that has been with me for that first unit meeting that we had. So, we've had to replace guys in the past. You're going to have to do that every single year. But I think the guys have the right mindset. They're coming out hungry, working, trying to get better, and I'm really pleased with the progress that we've made.
With that being said, how have you altered your teaching this spring, or have you had to alter it at all?
No, we haven't, and I think those guys that left did a great job of teaching the young guys how we do things here, because there's a specific standard that we have in place. So I think the young guys understand it. They know what I'm looking for every single day, on and off the field, and we're getting better.
What would you like to see in these next two practices before the spring game?
Continued progress. We're not installing anything new the next few days. I want to focus on detail, technique, communication. All those things are extremely important to me, because from practice 1 to now practice 13, I've seen a huge jump, and I want to continue to see that this last week. And
stood out on the defensive side?
who has stood out?
Yeah.
I think T.J. Baldwin is having a fantastic spring. I think Carter Glassmeyer, the transfer from St. Francis linebacker, he's picked up the defense very, very well, very quickly, and so I'm really pleased with him. Wayne Galloway's had a good spring. Obviously, talking about our defensive line, I think they're taking steps every single day, and I'm extremely pleased with the secondary. We've been very thin, but the guys have pushed through it. Matt Trainer is another one that's having a good spring. Jabril Hayes, he's was a role player for us last year, and he's just taken the next step. And I'm pleased overall with where we are.
Hey, Coach, October, can you update us on the quarterback competition and where you are with that?
Oh, it's still ongoing. These guys are playing really well. They've shown really good recall from the season, and Jacob's doing a really good job with them. But it's been great. One of the things that we're doing is we're keeping reps. We understand, make sure everybody gets the equal amount of reps. So, and the same type of plays. So, one guy gets a run, quarterback run one day. the next one's going to get a quarterback run the next day or somewhere in between there, so we can give them tangible results so we can get the best guy out there.
Would you hope to have resolution by Saturday at 6 p.m. or not necessarily?
You know, I guess this is the best answer, just in my experience over just being in football. You know, if we get a resolution on Saturday, then we're not in a good place. Both of them have helped us win a championship. I think this thing is going to go all the way to UVA week, and that's what we want, because that means both of them are competing. And ultimately, everything goes from our center to our quarterback, but it's always going to go into his hand. And if we don't make if a resolution doesn't show up until then, that means that our team is getting better and they're competing, and that's what we want.
Hey, speaking of competing in these spring games, do the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator compete?
No, you know, I'll tell you this, spring is awesome because we just throw things at the wall and see if it sticks, and most of the time it doesn't. And what's great about that is as the season is going on, we can go back to the spring and say, hey, these are the things that we can't run this play on. So not really competing against the defense, but just competing against our overall creativity on offense. Hey, what about this play? What if we tried it this way? What if we tried it that way? Like, let's just go back the way we did it, you know. But our players, it's been a back and forth, and obviously we're competitive, and so we talk crap to each other. But it's been a great spring.
What have you liked about the offense collectively this spring?
Like I said, the recall. We're going faster. Also, there's times in the practices where I pointed to the quarterbacks and I let them call the play, and the players all gravitate to the quarterback. And I think that's where you've seen the maturation of our players and our group. Obviously, coming from when you win a championship, that helps. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited about that. We're playing faster.
Are things a little different with you being the quote unquote sole offensive coordinator?
Not really. I mean, I'm still the same dude, you know. Everybody still has their responsibilities. I still have the same thought process of, I'll take all the blame and none of the credit, you know. And everybody has their, like, for example, Coach Kennedy came in. He came from Harvard. He has some combo blocks that he called a certain thing. Coach Ross called it something else. We're calling it what Coach Kennedy calls it because, ultimately, he has to feel comfortable, and I think that right there is where it matters. Team. We have a saying that says, united through team, unequivocally not intimidated, to empower development, through trusting each other, encouraging each other, and accepting each other's differences and maximize each other's skill sets. So nothing's really changed. We just got new tires on the wheels, and let's go. Hey, that body ain't changed. It's still Coach Huseman's vision, and we're trying to do the best we can for the University of Richmond football.